Hello and welcome to Jurisage Academy's YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be analyzing previous year questions on constitutional law. So we will start with CLAT PG 2023 paper. In subsequent videos, we'll analyze more previous year papers. So let's start and see what questions have been asked from constitutional law. तो जो सबसे पहला पैसेज आया था वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ पर ही था. दिस वॉज टेकन फ्रॉम द केस ऑफ सबरीमाला. सो द जजमेंट इन 2019 इन द इंडियन यंग लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन केस वॉज आस्क्ड. इसमें जो पहला क्वेश्चन था, दे आस्क्ड फ्रॉम द जजमेंट इटसेल्फ कि इन दिस केस द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हेल्ड द वर्शिपर्स ऑफ लॉर्ड अयप्पा एज व्हाट. So the correct answer was that Lord Ayappa followers were held not to be a religious denomination because they do not satisfy the four-pronged test that was laid down in S.P. Gupta case. So this was a very direct question from the judgment as well as from the understanding of Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution. Now the second question was that the Supreme Court determined whether a religious practice falls under Article 25 using which test. So you had to basically tell what is the test that the court applies under Article 25. So the answer to this was also very easy because the test is the essential religious practice test which was laid down in the Shirur Mutt case. So this was also an easy question. The third question was with respect to Article 17 क्योंकि Article 17 की भी बात हुई है इस judgment में with respect to untouchability. So the question was कि Article 17 को enact करने के लिए Parliament ने कौन सा law बनाया है. So the correct answer was Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. As you can see, the options are very close and the years of their enactment are also closer. So if you have studied your basics very well, then you would have been able to answer the name of the law. The next question was with respect to the interpretation. तो fourth question में उन्होंने पूछा कि Justice D.Y. चंद्रचूड़ ने कौन सा method rely किया while talking about the Constitutional Assembly debates in interpreting Article 17. तो आपको ये बताना था कि आर्टिकल 17 का जो इंटरप्रिटेशन उन्होंने किया है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल असेंबली डिबेट्स पे रिलाई करके, ये किस टाइप का इंटरप्रिटेशन है. सो एज यू कैन सी फ्रॉम द ऑप्शंस, द राइट ऑप्शन विल बी ओरिजिनलिज्म बिकॉज यहाँ पे वो ओरिजिनल टेक्स्ट विच इज योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल असेंबली डिबेट्स, दे आर यूजिंग दैट टेक्स्ट टू इंटरप्रेट आर्टिकल 17 एज इट स्टैंड्स. सो दिस इज अ मेथड ऑफ ओरिजिनलिज्म इंटरप्रिटेशन. And the three other options are not suitable in this context. तो ये आपका थोड़ा interpretation based question था. Next question था कि Justice D.Y. चंद्रचूड़ ने Article 17 का किस टाइप का application बताया, whether it was a vertical, horizontal or indirect horizontal application. So for this you needed to have a good understanding of this judgment क्योंकि इस केस में the correct answer was horizontal application of Article 17. Next जो केस था वो विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू लीगल डेवलपमेंट था. तो इस केस में उन्होंने पूछा कि जो रिव्यू पिटिशन फाइल हुई है अगेंस्ट द सबरीमाला जजमेंट, नाउ दैट इट हैज बीन रेफर्ड टू अ 9 जज बेंच, तो उसके सामने कौन कौन से इश्यूज हैव बीन फ्रेम्ड. सो यू हैव टू बेसिकली टेल व्हाट इश्यूज आर फ्रेम्ड बिफोर द 9 जज बेंच विच इज करंटली हियरिंग दिस रिव्यू पिटिशन एंड ऑल्सो अदर रिलेटेड एरियाज. सो द करेक्ट आंसर वॉज ऑल ऑफ द अबव क्योंकि जितने भी 3 ऑप्शन आपकी स्क्रीन पे दिख रहे हैं, all of them are in issue in this 9 judge bench. Next question was with respect to the disagreement. तो उन्होंने पूछा कि इस जजमेंट में जस्टिस चंद्रचूड़ का जो ओपिनियन है आर्टिकल 17 का, उससे किस जज ने डिसअग्री किया है. सो आई थिंक द डिसेंट इन सबरीमाला केस was quite famous because Justice Indu Malhotra was the only judge who dissented. So the correct answer was option C, Justice Indu Malhotra, and it was a very obvious and very easy question. Next coming to, they asked about a book कि while reaching the conclusion on the scope of Article 17, Justice चंद्रचूड़ ने डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर की कौन से वर्क को साइट किया है. Now it is a little hard for you to understand or to predict which book they might have cited, but since Annihilation of Caste is one of the very popular, very famous works of Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, a smart guess with respect to this answer might have worked. Next question था कि non-derogable का मतलब क्या होता है. So this was more of a question of your English skills. So the correct answer to that was non-derogable means something which cannot be infringed under any circumstances. Last question था कि ये जो petition फाइल हुई थी by the Indian Young Lawyers Association, ये किस टाइप की petition थी, whether it was an SLP, PIL or a writ appeal. So the correct answer was that this was a PIL before the Supreme Court. So as you can see, these 10 questions were based on the understanding of Sabrimala case as well as your understanding of Articles 25 to 28 also. So these were the first 10 set of questions asked under Constitution. The next passage was also from Constitution. तो 20 बहुत direct questions सिर्फ constitutional law में से आए थे in the 2023 paper. So the second passage was on ordinance making power of the governor. So obviously you had to be very familiar with Article 123 and Article 213. So the first question in that was that the power to promulgate an ordinance is an instance of which kind of power? So the first three options, all of them are incorrect because the correct answer is that it is a legislative power. So since legislative power is not one of the options given, that is why the answer was none of the above. The second question was with respect to the landmark case of DC Wadhwa versus State of Bihar. इसमें उन्होंने पूछा कि DC Wadhwa के केस में कोर्ट held that re-promulgation of ordinance is a fraud on the constitution. So why was this held? So the correct answer was this was held because the court said that this is a colorable exercise of power. If you're re-promulgating ordinances without the legislature approving those ordinances, then this amounts to colorable exercise of power by the governor or by the president. Next question was कि जिन states में bicameral legislature है वहाँ पे governor कब ordinance promulgate कर सकते हैं. So we think that the right option should have been option A क्योंकि when both the houses are not in session, only then the governor has the power to promulgate an ordinance. But in the answer key, the CLAT has provided the answer to be option D, which is none of the above. Next question was with respect to duration. तो ये थोड़ा interpretation based question था कि आपको अगर 2 and 3 के basics बताएं तो आपको ये कैलकुलेट करना था कि कितना मैक्सिमम पीरियड होता है जब तक ऑर्डिनेंस फोर्स में रह सकती है. So the question was कि under Article 213, an ordinance once promulgated by the governor shall be laid before legislative assembly of the state or before 2 states. So keeping in mind the constitutional provisions, for how long an ordinance can remain effective? So the correct answer was 7.5 months based on the calculation of Article 213. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपके एक लैंडमार्क केस से रिलेटेड था. उन्होंने पूछा कि के सिंह ने 2 5 जज बेंच डिसीजंस को ओवर रूल किया टू होल्ड विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग ऑप्शंस. तो इसमें द राइट आंसर वाज कि के सिंह जो 7 जज बेंच डिसीजन था उसमें उन्होंने कहा था कि एन ऑर्डिनेंस विच इज नॉट लेड बिफोर लेजिस्लेचर इन द मैनर प्रिस्क्राइब बाय 213 shall not have any legal effect and consequences. So this was based on your understanding of landmark case and also अगर आप बाकी options पढ़ते तो आप थोड़ा smart guess करके भी figure out कर सकते थे कि what would have been the correct position with respect to Article 213. Next question was again with respect to ordinance by governor, जिसमें वो पूछ रहे थे कि which of the following is true. तो first option था कि ordinance is to be treated as law under Article 13. It should always require the approval of the president. And lastly, that it is not constrained by subject matter requirements of Article 246. तो इसका right answer था सिर्फ option A, क्योंकि option 2 incorrect है because ordinances by governor do not always require prior approval by the president, and the ordinance making power of the governor is bound by what the legislature of the state can do, which means that it is also bound by Article 246 read with the 7th schedule. So the correct answer is option A, that is 1 alone is correct. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन था कि आर्टिकल 213 के अंदर द गवर्नर इज रिक्वायर्ड टू रिजर्व एन ऑर्डिनेंस फॉर द कंसिडरेशन ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट इन विच केसेस. सो द राइट आंसर वाज दैट इन ओनली ऑप्शन 2 and 3 गवर्नर इज सपोज टू रिजर्व द ऑर्डिनेंस फॉर द कंसिडरेशन ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट. क्योंकि पहला ऑप्शन इनकरेक्ट है, क्योंकि अगर स्टेट में प्रेसिडेंट रूल लग भी रखा है तो भी दिस इज नॉट ट्रू विद रेस्पेक्ट टू 213. And option 2 and 3 are correct क्योंकि when the ordinance pertains to Article 304B proviso, then it has to be reserved, and if it is a matter in concurrent list and the law that is to be made is repugnant to parliamentary law, then also governor is required to reserve the ordinance for the consideration of precedent. So the right answer is option B, that is 2 and 3 are correct. Next question was again with respect to the 7 judge bench decision in के सिंह. उसमें उन्होंने पूछा कि जो गवर्नर का ओपिनियन होता है of promulgating the ordinance, क्या ये जुडिशियल रिव्यू के अंदर आता है. सो द राइट आंसर वाज येस, दैट इट इज सब्जेक्ट टू जुडिशियल रिव्यू. ऑल्दो आप इसमें कंफ्यूज हो सकते थे ऑप्शन बी और सी में, क्योंकि दोनों में लिखा हुआ है दैट इट इज सब्जेक्ट टू जुडिशियल रिव्यू. लेकिन जो इसकी करेक्ट रीजन है वो ये है कि इट कैन ओनली बी जुडिशियली रिव्यूड ऑन द रेलेवेंसी ऑफ मटीरियल एंड नॉट एडिक्वेसी ऑफ मटीरियल, एंड दैट इज वाई ऑप्शन बी वॉज द राइट आंसर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जनरल क्लॉजेस एक्ट के इंटरप्रिटेशन पे था. सो दिस वॉज समथिंग विच यू हैड टू look at the options and then understand. तो they were asking कि section 6 की interpretation पे के सिंह में क्या क्या उन्होंने कहा. So actually all of the options were held to be correct. Next question था कि जो ऑर्डिनेंस को अप्रूव करने के लिए लेजिस्लेचर रेजोल्यूशन पास करती है उसका क्या नेचर है, whether it is statutory, whether it is merely an opinion, whether it comes under the proceedings of the house, or whether it is delegated legislation. So the right answer was that it is statutory in nature. तो ये 20 questions तो directly constitutional law से आए थे, but then from other passages also which were based on different other subjects, they also asked some questions on constitutional law from this part as well. जैसे question 25 था कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर ऑल प्रॉपर्टी एंड असेट्स आर वेस्टेड विथ whom आफ्टर इंडिया हैज गॉट इंडिपेंडेंस. सो द आंसर वाज दैट इट वेस्ट्स विद द यूनियन एंड द स्टेट्स. दिस वाज डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम आर्टिकल 294. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन था कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर लैंड, मिनरल एंड अदर थिंग्स कहाँ पे कवर्ड है. सो द राइट आंसर वाज यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया बेस्ड ऑन द 7th शेड्यूल. Then one more question was asked, which was कि Constitution of India provide करता है कि if there is no lawful heir or successor, then the property will go to the union or the state through which cases? Escheat, lapse, or bona vacantia. So the right answer was all of the above as per Article 296 of the Constitution of India. तो ये 3 questions, even though the passage was relating to something else, they were still from constitutional law. Next passage जो COVID और Factories Act से related था, इसमें भी 2-3 questions were from constitutional law. जैसे question 32 which was with respect to proclamation of emergency. तो question ये था कि in order from proclamation of emergency under 352 कौन सी conditions meet होनी चाहिए. तो सही आंसर था option C, that by war or external aggression or armed rebellion if the security is threatened. Next question था with respect to 44th Amendment Act कि following this amendment in order for a proclamation of emergency such decision has to be taken by whom? So the right answer was that this decision has to be taken by cabinet ministers and it has to be communicated to the president in writing. So out of the 4 options, option C was correct. So this brings us to the end of the questions that were asked from constitutional law directly in the CLAT PG 2023 paper. We will also make videos covering judgments and the cases from 2020. So do check out those as well. If you like this video, please like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.